Hello everyone! For this week's video, I've been working on a little bit of something. Some of you may know, last year I did National Novel Writing Month. I have since gotten a paper copy of the first draft of that novel and it's great, and I've started adapting it into a screenplay and it's going okay. In order to get some character background on some of the secondary characters, I have actually written a little fairy tale sort of thing. So some context. The protagonist of this little snippet is not the protagonist of the main story. So this is more or less to provide some context because in the novel these characters are about 18, 19 years old. The main protagonist at least is 18. So this little snippet is set about 10 years before that time period. And this details their first meeting of sorts. So without further ado, here we go. A 9-year-old beggar would have been a highly unlikely candidate to survive the woods for days on end. But other 9-year-old beggars were not Philip. After a dreadful encounter with the witch, he vowed to himself that he would never go near the north again. The more earthy green woods near the castle would have to do for the time being. He could live here forever, without having to answer to anyone, except, perhaps, for his stomach. Nearly a week after traipsing through all manner of woods, his stolen supply had depleted and the previous night's sleep had been interrupted by a persistent groaning from his middle area. The idea to steal food, good food, from the castle had never left his mind, and it had only grown stronger. And so here Philip found himself, hiding in the branches of a low-hanging tree near the castle wall as the sun dipped below the horizon, just high enough to peek into the rear courtyard and to make sure that the grounds were empty. Another hour passed, and the sky was completely dark except for the stars that shone in the sky. It was then that Philip noticed a small opening in the wall, only a short walk from where he had been hiding. He shimmied down the tree as only a lithe 9-year-old could do, and slunk into the opening, realizing upon closer inspection that it was, in fact, a hidden one. The stone door was half submerged in the wall to the left. He imagined that at any other time it would have been slid shut so as to keep out intruders. In any case, it was open, and the young thief suddenly found himself in a more dreamlike place than he had ever known. The grassy expanse covered a fair bit of ground before it halted in front of the castle's large stone exterior with intricate double doors. To his left lay a smaller building with the insignia of the king and queen alongside an image of a sword. There would be no food there. On his right, and around the corner from the castle entrance, lay a half-open wooden door, out of which traveled the slightest scent of a freshly baked loaf of bread. Taking a quick glance around, Philip removed his clunky shoes and darted across the lawn. He normally would have taken the shadows, had his urge for food not overtaken him. There was no light in the kitchen, but he still stood against the door in the event someone was present. A few seconds of silence told him he was alone. The loaf that sat squarely on the table was nearly begging for him to take it. So he did. He was a little disappointed to find that there was nothing to drink, but a thief couldn't keep high standards for his loot. He emerged again from the kitchen, but something was keeping him from bolting from the castle grounds. To his left, he heard the soft swish of a tail, and concluded that the long building across the path from the kitchen was the stables. And then it hit him. He could travel much faster and further away from his exploits with a reliable mode of transportation. Surely the royal family could manage without one of its horses. He knew from the moment he peeked down the center aisle that there would be more than enough for 10 of them. But who to pick? He crept down the aisle, assessing his options. The ones closer to the front were probably more important. If he was to escape unnoticed, he'd have to choose from the back. There was a padding of hooves in the stall at the end of the barn. and Philip suddenly noticed a pair of large, soulful eyes glancing in his direction. He calmly approached it and held his hand out to her, greeted by a gentle nuzzle. "That's it," he whispered. "Shh, be calm. It's okay. We're going to get out of here." He climbed over the door and into the stall on the quest for a small bit of rope to hold on with. Not too long after, the horse suddenly started to whinny nervously. "Shh, horsey, you'll give us away," he hissed. But when he turned around to face the horse, his heart simultaneously stopped beating and began beating intensely as he caught the gaze of a young girl his own age. "Who are you?" she whispered. I can explain. I was just..." "Shh, they'll hear you," she hissed, opening the stall door and joining him. He was done. He was caught. They'd find out everything he'd ever stolen, and he'd be locked away in the dungeons for the rest of his life. "I'm really sorry," he said. It was the only thing he could think of to make the situation any better. "You should be," she said. "Don't you know not to take things that don't belong to you?" He knew. He just chose to ignore it. "And anyways, you still haven't told me your name." She was persistent. "Philip. And I don't need to ask who you are." What other young girl lived in the castle? "My name is Harmony." "Thank you for asking so kindly." She rolled her eyes and looked over the wall of the stall toward the barn entrance. Her hood fell to reveal a head of sand-colored wavy hair, illuminated by the moonlight that fell through the window above them. Quite the contrast to Philip's dark brown matted and overgrown tresses. Even in the darkness, he could tell that the smooth nightgown peeking out from underneath her cloak put his own dirty peasant rags to shame. "Well, Your Highness, what are you doing in the stables at this hour? Shouldn't you be in your comfortable bed?" he spat. "There's no need to be impolite, Philip. I'm not going to turn you in." Again, his heart fell to his stomach. "What?" "Shh! Sorry. It is actually to my advantage that I found you. Now you can help me escape." Harmony's grin spread wide across her face. "Escape? I've never been allowed outside the castle gates. I'm sure you know why." Philip did know why. Everyone in the kingdom knew of the disappearance of her sister, Princess Melody, and he'd been told the story for as long as he could remember. He had also been told that nobody would be let into the castle without prior permission, and that Harmony was not allowed to leave. "It's true then? You've never set foot outside the grounds?" "Yet. Not yet. But I could change that with your help." And that's it. Again, that's a little snippet of some free writing that I was doing, and it's so much fun to read out loud. I like reading things that are geared a little bit more children out loud. It's so much fun. I am planning on doing NaNoWriMo again. I'm a little bit unsure of what I'll do. I might stick with the same characters. I might come up with something completely different. Who knows? As usual, you can subscribe here on my main channel to see new videos every single Sunday. You can subscribe to my second channel for vloggity vlog type things. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Tumblr, as well as my animation site, DDP, etc., which I am actually in the middle of revamping a teeny little bit. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to post maybe some more of my writing online, if not spoken out in video form to you. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. Remember to keep living awesome lives, and I will see you very soon. Bye.